it is supervisors, that is the backbone of this world's largest official digital census assignment. And proudly saying so that we are teachers. I know besides completion of our academic assignments at our schools, it is very impossible for a country like ours when there will be no contribution of the teachers in non-academic official assignments. Because it would have been, I think, impossible for our country if teachers would not have contributed to fight against COVID-19. To me, the major contributors, besides the persons who were assigned officially, who were having the official duties to counter COVID, it were the teachers who acted as supervisors, who acted as the nodal officers, who acted as the charge officers in the management of that scenario. Besides that, it is a teacher who is acting as BLO. And we all know without BLO, no delimitation is possible. And number next, it is a teacher who for election purpose acts as an polling officer, presiding officer, sectoral magistrate, and all other relevant officials of the election. This is very fortunate. So we should be proud of our job. So far as this census is concerned, almost all the enumerators, all the trainers at district level headquarters, at tahsil level headquarters, at nation level headquarters, it is the teacher who is a supervisor, who is an enumerator, who is a trainer, and who is doing all the basic ground truthing assignment with respect to this census. So why shouldn't we be proud of ourselves? And I know because of your personal assignments at our schools, we had to do the MDM jobs, the MDM assignments, the admission assignments, the examination assignments, where at times the invigilators, where at times the superintendents, so many assignments are on our shoulders. But it is very unfortunate at times from the quarters where from we expect appreciation, at least a verbal appreciation. We often don't get that. It is very unfortunate. But fortunate thing is that we know on behalf of our own that we are the major contributors for the development of our country. Let us have a thorough look over the census 2027. Since it is declared as the world's largest official program, which on behalf of teachers will be completed within these 2 years, 26 and 27. I don't know what others are saying, what others will say, but from the core of my heart, I congratulate all of you that besides your other official, non-official assignments, curricular, co-curricular assignments at your schools, you came here with full enthusiasm, with full dedication, with full discipline, and you spent full of your time with sincerity with us. And through this interactive program, not only we came to know about different parameters of the census, I, myself, and my colleague Mr. Mansoor Saab, we also learned a lot from all of you through the interaction program. But besides going ahead, let me recall a few points about which we discussed till now. First was the definition of the census, then there is the purpose of the census. The purpose of the census is planning. Our country plans about the education system, about the developmental system, about the social system, about the caste system, infrastructure, delimitation, election. All this planning is wholly and solely dependent on census. So we as teachers, being enumerators and supervisors, we should realize this fact that if we will commit a mistake, that will hinder all the process of the development. But I am sure that we are the dedicated teachers. And history says that it is the contribution of the teachers that a country develops, not on behalf of its academic affair, education system, but on the behalf of development, in economic perspective, in social perspective, in infrastructure perspective, in delimitation perspective. So we are proud for being the builders of the nation, and we are proving it. And inshallah, this time we will also prove it. And then we came to know about most of the terminology, most of the terms on behalf of the census. And we realized the fact that whenever a term will be asked, when we will be doing on ground the census duty as an enumerator, as a supervisor, we should know the term and we have to answer a respondent as per the terminology used by the census. We know that K. Narayanan is the census commissioner of the India, who is IAS. And in his message, he says that every enumerator, every census official is authorized legally under Census Act 1948, Article 246, Schedule 7th at Serial 69, under different sections. Every official is authorized to conduct her duty very efficiently, very proudly, very enthusiastically, because you as an enumerator have the authority to visit any of the household which is lying in your HLB. So far as these legal provisions are concerned, we are also advised to wherever enumerator or supervisor or whatever type of the assignment we are having, their respective I cards. So without I card, we are not supposed to pursue our duty at ground level, because any respondent can scan your I card ID. Once he will scan, and your every type of the relevant detail will come on his screen or on her screen. So we should realize it. And a supervisor is said to be that officer who has been given assignment of assessment, rechecking, and verification of the data sent to him by all of his respective enumerators. And an enumerator, as per census, is said to be the official who has been given a particular HLB in which he has to process, to calculate, to analyze, to publish, to frame, to make a sketch of the map, and publish it, and to send it to his respective or to her respective the supervisor. And after these legal provisions, we came to know that the term like building is a structure, is a permanent construction placed on the ground, has 4 walls which can vary, can be 3 or more than 4, with a defined roof, having a unique premises and unique entry and exit points. And a census house is said to be a building or part of a building which has its separate entry and exit point with a definite use or definite purpose. Is a census house. And then we came to know about the household, which includes the individuals related or unrelated, sharing a common kitchen for dining as well as preparation of the food, making of the food. And so far as the typification of these households are concerned, we have 3 types of the households. One is normal household, in which usually a family resides, lives one another and with one another, and shares common kitchen for dining purpose or food preparation purpose. And number second, the institutional household, the example of which is in a jail, in a college, in a police station, in a hospital, where mostly unrelated group of persons, they used to share a common kitchen or a dining hall. And then the third category is houseless household. We came to know that houseless household is who don't have a unique building or a census house, who used to reside in the railway stations, in the pipes, or in the markets, but they don't have ownership of any type of the building or the census house. These are the houseless households. For your kind remembrance, the houseless households, you need not enumerate them. So far as the first phase of this census procedure, which will be conducted in coming month of the June by you, because in the first phase we have to calculate, we have to do the house listing process, we have to see, we have to look, we have to analyze the physical parameters, the physical structures of the assigned HLB. And it is the enumerator, it is the supervisor who is actually the representative of the government before every household. Ensure it. You are not only the supervisors and the enumerators. Whenever you will be visiting any of the household, you are just the whole government representative. All the government is lying in your face, you are representing the whole process of the census, whole process of the government before each and every household of your assigned HLB. And besides that, we came to know a few definitions more, like once you will enter in a building, it has dwelling and non-dwelling compartments or rooms. A dwelling room is that room of a building whenever you will be visiting a household, whenever you will be visiting a building, which is not kitchen, which is not a bathroom, which is not a latrine compartment. Dwelling room is that room which has dimension almost 6 by 6 or even 6 by 5, which can accommodate at least a single person, in which he can live, in which he can eat, in which he can drink, in which he can sleep. That is said to be the dwelling room. By tomorrow, when you will be asking a question to your respective respondent that tell me the number of the dwelling rooms, first of all, you should know that what a dwelling room means. This is number one. And number second, we came to know from our Mansoor sir through the digital PPT that whenever we enter a premises, within the premises, suppose this premises belongs to me and there is a house, there is a outside kitchen, outside washroom, outside cattle shed, outside garage for my car, and all within the single premises will be included in as a single building number. You will have to assign all the buildings, all the structures, a single building number. Then you will assign a separate census house number to the garage, to the cattle shed. But so far as kitchen and washroom, which is being used by the respective household members as their own compartment, then they would constitute a separate census house. They will be part of the census house of which belongs to me. We should know it, we should realize it. And besides that, we came to know that an enumerator, whenever he will be doing the ground truthing, he has to first download the application with the use of the respective credentials which has been given to him through the respective portals. After he will get the respective HLO application, he will first do one thing, he will download the respective HLB map. When he will be downloading the HLB map, he will correlate the physical parameters after doing the ground truthing. Ground truthing is a practice through which an enumerator performs his census duty at ground level. And when you will be downloading you will get a printout of your map, of your HLB map. You have to check out its boundaries, its physical structures. Then you have to visit your given HLB very thoroughly, where you will see that whether the boundaries, whether all other physical parameters which has been given to you, whether they are at ground level resembling or not. If you find that your HLB boundary is colliding with the HLB boundary of another enumerator, you have to report to the respective charge officer immediately. And not only that, you have to check that the ID card which you got, whether all these parameters, all the things which are mentioned there, they really belong to you or not. And after that, what you have to do? You have to go for a second, creating a map, downloading a map, making a sketch of the map. I told you can make use of any of the AI tool like Claude is there, Gemini is there, or ChatGPT is there, where you will get the physical parameters. Then it will be very handy for you to construct any of the rest of physical structure there, police station, school, dispensary, pond, canal, or other physical structure which is present there. After the map, you will go for second visit. In that second visit now will be very official. The persons who are in the HLB. If you have been given your own personal HLB, then you need not to go for the first visit because you know every physical parameter which is lying in that very area. Suppose you have given an HLB in which you have never visited. Situation can be like this. So for that purpose, you have to visit first very thoroughly to know some of the persons, interaction with some of the persons of that HLB, and to draw the boundaries and all other physical parameters. Then you have to go for the second time, which will be the official visit. So far as this is the and then you have to check out the physical parameters. The building is first. You have to see the buildings and you have to assign the building number at the gates, at the respective entries of every building. And how you should go for the numbering? I just told you it should be from the taking account the geographical these coordinates. Remember one thing that in India, it was the municipality or it was a government is recognized any authority who had already given the numbering to the respective houses or the buildings. Then you need not to renumber the buildings. You can use that numbering. Suppose you are doing any numbering, your census enumeration in the region like Jammu city or the Srinagar city, most of the flats, most of the buildings have already been given the building numbers by the municipality or any other likely at this authority. Then you need to reassign the building number. You can use that very building number. But when you are giving the building number, remember that you are mentioning CN. It is not mandatory for you that you will mention CN1, CN2, CN3. As per rule, it is not mandatory always. You can use another things. But whenever you mention the CN, suppose you have done the enumeration of the physical parameters of an HLB, and so far as it is population enumeration is concerned, your brother, your another teacher as an enumerator came and now he has been given the assignment of the population enumeration of that area. Suppose whenever he will be visiting your HLB, it should look very easy and handy for him that my previous brother has assigned the building numbers in a very cohesive, coherent, and very good manner. Who has started, suppose, from 1 and added at 100 in a very line from this side, and that side. It should look very easy for the another enumerator. You have to keep this thing in mind. And after that, then so far as the second official visit is concerned, it is mandatory, it is essential for a supervisor to assist his respective enumerator for the calculation for the ground truthing purpose at an earliest, so that if any change is needed, suppose railway line was not mentioned in the previous map which you got for which you got a downloaded copy, you have to check out these physical parameters. If any particular physical parameter is not mentioned, then you will have to mention it. Then that particular supervisor will assist you. And after completion of the assignment of the building numbers, this second official visit, then you will go for the final visit, in which you will visit every census house, every household. As you know the definition of the census house and the household, when you know the definition of the census house and census, the things which you learned from the training, you will maintain a very cordial atmosphere while asking the different questions to your respondent. A respondent can be any person. He can be good, he cannot be good. He can be good response, he can have a good response against your every question. He can't have a good response. He may not respond to you positively. He can be reluctant in answering a different question. You have to manage by yourself. You have to read out their brain while asking the different questions. And if sometimes the respondent is not positively responding you, suppose you asked him a question that what is the material from which your wall has been made, and you know that the predominant material by which the respective wall has been made was the burnt brick, was the concrete, was the cement or whatever, but he is responding to you that, sir, it is made from the bamboo sticks. There you know, then do what is the best. The best is the main predominant material is burnt brick. However, if they declare that their 18-year-old boy, their 19-year-old girl, she is the head of the house. If you feel that she must not be the head of the house, then at that very situation, you have to fill the data what they say, to whom they declare. Because as per census definition, house head is the person to whom the family declares the head. Not mandatory, he is older in comparison to the other family members. He can be he can be she, he can be male, can be female, can be young, can be old. In such situations, you have to respond to the respondent only. And number next thing is that if a respondent says you that, sir, he has or they have themselves done the self enumeration, then you have to ask for self enumeration ID, SEID. When they will share the self enumeration ID with you as an enumerator, you will log in. You log in, and every type of the data he has mentioned will be fetched before your screen, before your device, and you will cross check it. When you will cross check it, suppose it is all okay, then you have to acknowledge by yourself. You have to sign it across at the blank space in the way I told you yesterday, and you have to send this data to your concerned supervisor. And I told one thing that don't make use of manual work as much as you can. However, in some severe conditions, like you are visiting some of the households and your phone battery got dead, your device battery got dead, and you have asked a question as respondent has responded to you, in that situation, you can miss a white paper, you can get that information about a few these households. But remember that in such situations, don't get the information for more than 5 households. And remember one more thing: if you are an enumerator and you have completed the HLB census enumeration for up to 5 or 6 households, ensure to send the same, to sync the same, to sign the same, and send it to your supervisor. Once you send the data to your supervisor, do call him. When you call him, give him a reminder: sir, I have sent you these five household enumeration prices. Please acknowledge and send it ahead. Because supervisor can be busy, he can be in a function. By tomorrow he will say you that I couldn't manage, I was in a function and all the data got deleted. How is it possible for you that you will once again go to the household and you will start asking all these messy 33, 34 questions? Although you can ask, you have the authority, you can ask, but it don't sounds good that you will come to my home and you will start asking questions, 34 questions. They may take time, it takes some time. So as soon as you do all the manual and the digital process, ensure that you have sent it timely and you have given a reminder to your supervisor to acknowledge it and send it to the concerned quarters. And I told one more thing to you that if you are planning to change your device, then plan it by today, not tomorrow. Because as per census rules, we have been strictly advised to make use of a single device throughout the whole process of enumeration in phase first and phase second. If you are using an Android phone, then it should be Android more having the more than Android 12 version processor. And if you are not having Android 12 procedure, then the application won't run very smoothly. I think it won't even run. Even 1% of the application won't run. So we have to ensure all these things. And next, we came to know about the confidentiality. Confidentiality is the protection of the personal data of an individual. So far as legal provisions are concerned, you as an enumerator, as a supervisor, are having authority to get the knowledge about every household, every census house, every individual of your HLB. But you are not having authority to share the same with any of unauthorized person. Your husband, your wife, your kids, your friends are not the authorized persons. For an enumerator, the only authorized person is his supervisor. And for a supervisor, the only authorized person is the charge officer. This is a ladder. This is a ladder. In the ladder, only we know that who is the authorized person with whom we can share all the data through official protocols. And once you get the official credentials and the password, as soon as you get the password, get logged in, get yourself registered, and quickly change your password. Keep what is convenient for you and don't share your password with anyone. In case of some harsh conditions, like you lost your phone fell into a pond, such conditions can arise there. In such conditions, it is mentioned that you have to promptly report to the charge officer. Then he will report to the concerned quarters, and there is probability that you may get a different ID and password. So provision is there. And one more thing: if I am an enumerator, I am a supervisor, I have the authority to the greater faith. I can inculcate a digital information. What I find is good, or the better safety, or the greater convenience. Like I told you that you are visiting a particular premises, you are visiting an institutional household or a particular building, and respondent has not responded you positively. At that time, do whatever you want, but with the greater faith. And if then anybody will ask you that why you have mentioned this and that thing, tell him that I am having the constitutional and statutory authority for the same with different sections. And the last thing is that how to run the application, how to answer the different questions with HLB application. Since I requested yesterday, the concerned quarters, they sent here 2 technicians, and I hope they helped us, and I hope that they have made a few dummy applications. By now, we'll be making groups, and every group will run the dummy application, and one will be acting as a supervisor, and a few will be acting as an enumerators. And we will use it. When we will thoroughly use it, every person will use it one by one. When we will be using it, and we will come to know what actually is the way through which we can go ahead with the digitization of all the census enumeration. Thank you.